Why are council's development assessment fees so high? Now, this is a question that was posed to me last week by a client. Just to set the scene, we're looking at a full demolition application here. And in my personal opinion, this demolition application is a no-brainer. Like, this house has absolutely been butchered to within an inch of its life, and you really, really need to dig to try and find any evidence of a pre-1947 house hiding within there. So yeah, I hope it'll be one of those ones that just glides on through. So I was talking to the client and he was just like, whoa, hold up here. We've all agreed that this is a no-brainer application, or should be a no-brainer application. Council's assessment fee is just over $3,000. The math here, guys, it just does not math. Like, this is not making sense. He went on to basically say, if you just imagine for a second that the town planner's hourly rate is $300 an hour, now that means it is going to take them 10 hours to sit there and work out that this house should be approved for demolition. Like, to come to the same conclusion we've all come to from just looking at it within 2 seconds. And I was like, damn, when you put it that way, yeah, council's fees do seem rather high. Hey, I can see exactly how you've come to this conclusion. But there is two things that you kind of need to understand when it comes to council's fees, which will change the way that you view or perceive their fees. So in today's video, what I want to do is share those two things with you guys, so that in particular, the design professionals out there, when you're faced with or met with this question, you have some language to be able to respond to your clients. So first thing you need to understand, it is not just one town planner or one person within council that is controlling this whole assessment process. So the way the assessment process works is we lodge the application with council and it goes to the admin team. The admin team then need to work through and make sure that all of the mandatory information has been provided. So if we provided the DA forms, if we've provided the proposal plans, and on those proposal plans, have we got the right notations and all of that sort of stuff? And then if we've done everything we're supposed to do, they generate a fee quote and issue that fee quote. Once we, our clients, have paid that fee quote, they then need to process the payment on their side and then allocate it to the team. Once it gets to the team, it is then triaged. So someone, and back in my day, it was the principal planner, but someone sits there and they do this really high level, quick kind of review, just to work out who it should be allocated to in council. So who is the assessment manager that is best placed to take on this application? Best placed in terms of their previous experience, their knowledge of the local area, and the capacity or their workload at that point in time. And what specialists need to be involved. So from there, it gets allocated out. In terms of specialists, there might be like the architect, the engineer, landscape architect, ecologist, pollution officer, like it goes on and on and on. There's a bucket load of different specialists. So it goes to the bottom of everyone's list and starts to work its way up. Once all of the specialists have completed their initial assessment, they send their feedback to the assessment manager. And the assessment manager side comment is also done at their town planning review, because usually they're the town planner. So the assessment manager then has to sit down and basically coordinate or create a coordinated response on behalf of council. So if they've got conflicting ecology requirements, the ecologist wants this tree to remain, and they've got conflicting engineering requirements because the engineer wants to put a sewer line where that tree is, they've got to work out, okay, who's going to win internally? What's our single unified response going to be? That response then comes to us as the town planner. We on our side coordinate our response, we submit it back to council. Then has to go back out to all of those different specialists. And again, it starts at the bottom of the list and works its way up. So everyone does their assessment of the response information. Then, once they've done that, if there's still outstanding concerns, they send that information back to the assessment manager. The assessment manager again, actually, I've just realized I've missed a point. I should have said, once we've responded to the information request, if it's impact accessible, it goes out for public notification. And then if submissions are received, then the assessment manager needs to actually review all of those submissions and provide an internal written response to each one of those submissions. So yeah, that can happen. Then it goes back to the specialists. They filter back their feedback. If there's outstanding comments, then again, the assessment manager, they sit down and they do this coordinated response, which is known as the further advice. We again respond, everyone again assess. Sometimes there can be that rotation or the repeating of that process, that negotiation that goes on until everyone is on the same page. Then all of the specialists set their conditions, so their wish list requirements. The assessment manager then sits down and prepares the recommendation. That recommendation then includes the draft approval documents, and it goes off to the delegate. The delegate is normally like a senior planner. Their role is to basically review everything and to sign off on behalf of council. Then, once they've signed off on behalf of council, it goes back to the admin team. The admin team process everything and they issue the approval. So hopefully you can get the idea from that long-winded response that it is not just one person that's sitting down there and just making a quick judgment call. There is a lot of hands that touch this thing. It goes through a lot of different steps and stages, and that is a massive reason as to why council's fees are what they are. So that's the first point. The second point is that council has no idea how problematic that application is going to be, how much work is going to be until they've gone through the process. Like from looking at it from the very beginning, you don't know the details of the engineering issues, or you don't know if there's going to be any submissions or if there's going to be community meetings required and all of that sort of stuff. So you can't predict what the fees need to be from the very beginning. So as a result, you need to charge kind of this one size fits all type fee. So you need to sit here and go, okay, well, it's a house. We predict it's going to be this, it's going to go this sort of path. We'll charge this fee for it. Sometimes, in the case of our situation, we hope it's an absolute no-brainer. So you need maybe an architect, you shouldn't need any other specialists. It's not impact accessible, so there's no advertising required, so therefore there shouldn't hopefully be any submissions. Like in those sort of scenarios, you actually get a win if you're council, because the amount of man hours required is actually reduced. The flip side is sometimes the most simple jobs, or what you think is going to be the simple job, can just be drawn out. So the applicant might be really passionate, so the homeowner might be really passionate about the design and just not want to budge, and there's a lot of back and forth and negotiations. It could get some surprise submissions from neighbours, a lot of community activity, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, it can go a totally different direction to what you think, in which case if you being council, you lose money. So yeah, you can't predict that at the very beginning, and you can't go back and charge fees later and turn up down the track and go, oh, okay, so this application was a bit more painful than we expected, so yeah, we want an extra $2,000 from you. Like, good luck trying to get the money out of people down the track. They're going to turn around and just be like, you said that was problematic for these reasons. I disagree. Like, I think that was a no-brainer. Like, they would waste so much money and time trying to play in this gray area and work out, should it be a higher fee, should it be a lower fee, all of that sort of stuff. Like, it would be an absolute nightmare for council. So yeah, it makes a lot more sense for them to draw the line at a black and white kind of point or category point. So to sit there and go, okay, well, it's a new house, it's fee A. It's full demolition, it's fee B. It's a subdivision, 1 into 2 lots, it's fee C. Like, you just make it black and white at that sort of point, and then you kind of roll with the punches. Sometimes you win money, sometimes you lose money on each job. So hopefully that gives you some understanding as to why council's fees aren't actually that high, and where the money goes and why it has to be charged the way it's charged. And as I said in the beginning, hopefully that, as design professionals, arms you with some language to be able to respond to those questions. Okay, I think that covers off everything I want to talk about today. As I always like to say, until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no, actually, I've got 3. Number 1, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site-specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number 2, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number 3, what was my number 3? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all.